similar. As you can see, we're going to have 3 shortcuts today. There we go. Angle. Well, so we've got angle, and then similarity. That's how you write it, okay? When they're saying by what. Basically, if you have 2 sets of angles, congruent, corresponding angles, this one, congruent to this one, congruent to this one. And what can we say? 2 are similar. Okay? We should be able to go through this kind of quick because you've already dealt with this concept before, haven't you? Side angle, side congruency, and the other stuff. We also had a side congruency. We also have side similarity. Looks like 3 sideways S's and 1, or 3 regular S's and 1 sideways. So this is similar to this. And like I said, we can't mark these like they're congruent because they're not. But it's nice for some people, and some people can see it in their head, but it's nice to have a visual representation of which one corresponds to the other. Now, here, you say this is congruent to this. What we need to say is it's proportional. If all 3 sets of sides are proportional, what does it mean to be proportional? Their ratios are what? Equal. Means I could set up what? 3 proportions. This equal to that equal to that, or that equal to that. That's what they're saying here when they say that these are proportional. So when you're figuring out if they're similar by, side similarity, we're talking about triangles here, you need to make sure that this is the same, either decimal or reduced fraction as what this one is, don't you? Okay? Now, and here's the only one that will give some people some problems, and that's side angle side similarity. And that mismarked. This is the one that you probably need to mark. Or mark in some way. Maybe trace over it if you don't like the S's. Because you need to figure out whether this is the what. What does it mean when it's in between them? The included angle. That's why the A is what? In between the 2 S's. Remember the one that makes a cuss word? Everybody always remembers that lesson. Okay? So as you can see, isn't this angle the one in between those 2 sides? Yeah. If you draw the angle, that's the included angle. See how when I draw it here, it is as well? You guys are so talkative in this class, I never know whether you understand what I'm saying or whether you're still asleep or whether you're not working at Hideaway too late. Because I bet you have to work late sometimes. It's understandable. Does everybody understand that? You guys get it?
Yes.
Give me some feedback. Oh, a wonder. How wonderful. So let's try to apply some of this, okay? So we have 3 of them. Angle similarity, side similarity, side similarity. Okay, we need to put the similarity sign after it. When they ask why, you'll say by angle similarity, you need to put that similarity sign. Okay? Let's get our red books out. Let's work on some problems.
Which when I get home, tear the ass apart. Can you rip out those 2 ones we've been doing and put another?
See if you can make sure you have one. Okay. No rip them out, just take that. All right. What are your directions here? Determine whether the pair of triangles is similar. If so, write the similarity statement. If not, what would be sufficient to prove the triangle similar? Explain your reasoning. Okay. First, let's look at this. Start out kind of tough on you. Looking at this right here, okay? And sometimes it'll help you to assign something as a variable. If I assign this an x, what would that be? What does this mark mean? Means that they are what? That means that's what? Agreed? So if I assign this one y, what's this one? Okay. This one corresponds to this one, right? So does x over y equal x over y equal x over y? Does it? Same thing over the same thing equals, right? So right now I can say that these are what? They're proportional, aren't they? They're proportional, aren't they? Now, remember, my options are what? Angle, similarity. Side, what? Similarity. And side, angle, side, similarity. So, I also have a set of angles given to me that are congruent. Agreed? So I have two sides and a what? Two proportional sides, sets of sides, and an angle. Which one of these fits that bill? Side, angle, side, similarity. So the only question is it the right two sides and angle? Is this the included angle to those two sides? Is it here? So, I can say that they want us to write what? A similar, they are similar, and they want us to write a similarity statement. So I'm going to say SRT, triangle SRT is similar to triangle what? If I went SRT, it would need to be what? I would say SWX. Okay. By what? Side, angle, side, similarity. Make sure you get that written down. Any questions there? Do you see the logic of how I could say that they were proportional? How they're the same thing? That's a little harder to see. For some it may not be. You could also put numbers here. If this was 5, this one's what? If that one's 7, what's this one? Wouldn't 5 over 7 equal 5 over 7? Okay, so sometimes adding numbers will help as well. To me, feels a little more final or sure if I use a variable because that represents any number. And that represents any other number, y, right? Okay. Everybody got this? I'm going to erase this so when I can use this. I didn't want to erase that. Our options are angle, similarity. Side, similarity. Or side, angle, side, similarity. So when talking, we need to talk about either 3 sets of proportional sides, 2 two sets, proportional sides and the included angle, or just two angles congruent? Okay. What have they given to me? Stuff about what? Anything about any of the angles here? Anything about any of the angles? No. Anything about any of the sides? All of them or just a couple of them? All of them. So obviously this is either going to be what? These are either going to be similar by side similarity or not. So what I basically need to do is, first of all, 8 over. Now here's what's tough. They really didn't give us anything to be for sure which ones, at least with the angles, which ones correspond to each other. But there's two that are equal, and then there's the smaller one. So obviously the 8 corresponds to the what? So 8 over 6. What do you get there? So that's our scale factor. That's one of the sides. What's the next one? If I use the 8 first, that's 12 over what? What does that reduce to? 3 over 1 of that 4, 3 over 1 of that 3. And the nice thing is the third one is the same, isn't it? So do I have 3 sets of proportional sides? I do. The scale factors are the same. So, triangle, we'll call it ABC, is similar to triangle. Well, if I did ABC, I need to do what? QPR by what? What's my theorem? Side, what? Those aren't too bad, are they? Leaving that there, let's look at, I've already done this one, so kind of erase that out of your mind. Let's look at number 3, we'll work up here. Obviously, I'm going to need to try to get which one here. This is the included angle of the 2 sides, I'm given something. I need to be working on trying to get what? Which one? Huh? Side angle, side similarity. I've already got 2 sets of grid, I've got the angle, the A taken care of. Now I need to see if this side. So, what is 10 over what corresponds to that? If it's the, yeah. And it's hard to tell sometimes, but if 10 is the smaller of the 2, then it must correspond to the smaller of the 2 over here, right? That reduces to what? 2/3. The other one we have here is what? 14 over what? 21. What does it reduce to? 7 goes into that 2 times, 7 goes into that what? So are they similar? So triangle STU is similar to triangle STU would have to be JPM by what? Real quick, I'll phrase this up and you can write it down here in just a second. Looking at this one, 90, I've got 1 set of angles congruent. Don't have a second one right now, but can I lead myself to one? If this is 30, what's this? Think about it. What do these 3 angles have to add to? So you got 90 and 30 is what? 120. So 180 minus 120 is what? So what's this one going to be? So these are similar by what? Angle, what? Similarity. You guys could write the congruency statement, or the, not congruency, sorry, similarity statement. Well, we got all that written down, we'll Everybody got that? Yes, no, maybe? Just out of curiosity, and I especially talk to the people over here, which do you guys like more? When I do this and write on it up here, or when I sit up there? Which one's it, when I write it up here? Let's do one of those ones below. Mostly because I want to remind you. I guess we're looking at number 6. About they ask us basically to find the two triangles that are similar here. Right? Oops, too far. Well, this thing really struggles sometimes. They ask us to find the two triangles that are similar, and then find the measures and find the variable. Now, so what they're asking us to do is look at this, right, Brooke, and determine whether they're similar. And my question to you right now is, if this, all I know for sure is that's congruent to that, right now. Now, I do want you to look at this again. That's not enough information, is it? I need two angles to be able to say the two triangles are similar. Is there any way, anything else that they gave us in this picture? What do these big things here mean? What is this basically? You guys remember doing a whole chapter on lines going through what? Two parallel lines, in other words, a transversal. Agree? If you look at this angle right here is congruent to it because they are what? Alternate interior angles. So now do I have two? And of course the third one too. You could have thought that one. These two are alternate interior angles too, aren't they? But it's harder to see when they're drawn like that, isn't it? Okay? They probably, just remember, when they put that parallel in there, they probably do that for a reason. It probably will be handy, and most of the time you're going to be dealing with transverse or parallel lines cut by transverse. So now that I know these are similar, let's find the variable here. So my scale factor, it's nice, I already have it. These two correspond to each other, so I know it's 16 over what? 4. Now, is equal to what? I'm trying to create a proportion to find x, right? So what corresponds to this side right here? Does the x minus 3 correspond to it? Well, think of it like this. Isn't that angle congruent to what? That angle? Would you agree? 1 mark to 3 mark. So the J corresponds to the what? M, right? And the L corresponds to itself. So LJ does correspond to LM. Agreed? So it's equal to what? What would go on top here? X plus 18 over what? I've gone the bigger triangle over the smaller, right? How am I going to find x? Cross multiply and solve. Everything up here times everything down here, so this would be 16 times what? X would be what? 16x, but also I have to do 16 times what? Negative 3 gives me a negative what? 3 times 6 is 18, 3 times 10 is 30, so that would be 48 is equal to 4 times x is 4 times 18, so plus 72. Now this is an algebra problem, is it not? I would add 48 here, add 48 here, and subtract 4x, subtract 4x. These go to 0, these go to 0, leaving me what? Come over here, I've got what? 12x equal to what? 120. That worked out rather nicely. Divide both sides by 12, what's x equal to? Is that what they asked for? They asked for each length. Huh? They asked for the variable? They asked for each measure. Sniper. Okay, they asked for each measure. So what's the measure of this one right here? If x is 10. Okay, what's the measure of this one then? 7 is x is 10. Right? Where's your book at, Andy? Get this written down.
Your red book there. Your red book. That's not your red book.
All right. You have